This week on the Hoopsology Podcast, as part of the Hoopsology season preview, Matt Thomas and Justin Goodrum discuss if ESPN's NBA coverage will improve this season. Then the podcast welcomes Ben Lyons onto the show to break down why Kevin Durant transcends the NBA, but the Nets will still be dysfunctional. Please email your questions to hoopsologypod@gmail.com and follow us on all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
Is ESPN's coverage going to be good this year? In-game coverage, like halftime shows. Are we still going to have the, everyone talks for 30 seconds. There's no real discussion, but everyone talks for 30 seconds and then you go right to commercial break and that's your halftime show?
The way they do their show, it sucks. Just rip off TNT.
Please,
take away like the personalities. The way TNT does it, usually they'll go to halftime and they'll break down what's going on. Kenny will do the highlights, and then that's it. They go to commercial, and then maybe they'll come back for a short thing, and then they're back into the second half. So I don't understand why they just don't do that with ESPN. I like Jalen Rose. I think with Stephen A. Smith, despite my reservations and my criticism, I think his forte is basketball, so I like him. I like Wilbon. I like Kendrick Perkins. Just taking a look at it, I think Malika is a good kind of traffic cop. Richard Jefferson's okay. I like Shanae. I think she's awesome.
I don't have a problem with the on-air talent. I have a problem with the format.
The format, just the way they do coverage sucks. I think it's just always been just a struggle. And honestly, to me, I would kind of go more the casual route, kind of like with Jalen and Jacoby. I've always been kind of a proponent of that. This gets more casual because I think they're kind of getting more serious. And I just think you just going to have to, basketball is more, I don't know, I might get some heat for saying this, but I just think it's more of a kind of laid back casual game compared to the NFL. I think the NFL's more life and death and just blood and guts and just,
analyzing decisions.
It's just more tactical. The basketball's not like that. It's just, let's have fun. And I just think you see that with inside the NBA. They're having fun out there. If the game sucks,
creative, like basketball.
Yeah. And you see them, they are creative. Like some things work, some things don't. And I think with ESPN, I think it's just they try to be a little bit more tactical and have a little bit more of a journalism ethics part of it. And I think certainly when there's serious stories, that's where I think the journalism should come into play. That's really important. At the same time, I do feel, when there's a great highlight or something, I think we've seen that with NBA Today. Just noticing with their show, I think they've done a little bit of a better job with that. And I think with Shanae there and with Jalen and with Stephen A., I think there's a little bit more of a fun atmosphere. I think they should keep that. I think when it gets too serious, I think that's where problems arise. I think you're right, Matt. Just focusing on the format is going to really be the catalyst of whether or not ESPN coverage is good or not. So I think you're on the money.
I feel like KD is such a hooper that his basketball career transcends the NBA. He's always just been the best player on the best team. And that's a real part of basketball culture, whether you're playing in a high school tournament, AAU tournament, or just playing in the park pickup, like the best player on the best team. That's always a thing. And he's just been that guy for as long as we've known him. Think about all his jerseys, not just Brooklyn and Oklahoma and Golden State, but Team USA and Texas and the Drew and the Rucker and just anywhere on earth where the game of basketball matters, this man has touched the floor. And the ultimate hooper. I think this whole situation in Brooklyn this summer was really unfortunate because it kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth when you're talking about Kevin Durant. And that's ridiculous. When a year ago, we were all saying best player in the world, gold medal, Olympic Durant, more gold medals than Melo. But he was the best player in the world and everybody's excited for the year coming up. And it just hasn't gone well in Brooklyn. And it shows when you can't force chemistry, you can't cut the line. You can't stack the deck in your favor. You got to go through it as a team, as players, getting to the top of that basketball mountain. And I don't know. I think it's going to be really dysfunctional in Brooklyn this year. I can't wait. And I hope he's able to stay healthy and play through it. I was just hoping he wasn't going to slip off that jet ski down in Turks and Caicos and fall and be out till Christmas. So I'm glad Glad he's healthy down there on vacation. But we want to see him on the basketball floor playing, play 75 games. They call Kyrie the most skilled player on the planet. The greatest skill is availability. And if I can't consistently rely on you to be available, you're not skilled. I mean, me being available for this podcast tonight was a challenge. I was about 20 minutes late. There's some Kyrie Irving behavior. I'm sorry, guys. I only gave you road games on this podcast. But I'm so skilled with these hot takes that maybe it's worth it.
Definitely is. It's such an interesting dichotomy now with KD. And I think what is so different about this offseason is you see more of the drama with the front office. I mean, you saw in Golden State some drama, certainly with like Draymond on the court, that was widely publicized eventually, and in the moment. But there's never been a doubt in mind, like when KD is on the floor, like you said, ultimate hooper, always giving his all. I mean, a lot of respect for him for going out there and tore his Achilles in the NBA finals, as we all know in here. So it's just such a strange dichotomy, I think, to see things now, not being rosy with management, or however you want to put it. Is it possible that, we're not giving KD a fair shake as the media, or however you want to label it, in that, we're not in on all those conversations that are going on behind closed doors?
We're definitely not in those conversations. So, and maybe that's part of the problem too, is that Kevin's not in those conversations either. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if there's a movement to have Rich Kleiman be the GM and president of the team instead of Sean Marks. I don't know if him and Kyrie, I never really understood the history of their friendship and their connection. Yes, Team USA and being great players and such, but they seem to almost be like too close. And you're like, well, where does that come from? And so I don't know what the relationship is with Kyrie and what his thoughts are on him missing last year the way he did and all that stuff. So there's a lot in play there. And hopefully you can quiet it all down and just be healthy and play basketball. I really do feel like we've been deprived as fans because we were teased the greatest show on wood and just all this stuff with these guys, and we just haven't seen it really. So it's almost this what if that will hang over them. But I want to see him healthy playing basketball. Give me 70 Kevin Durant games this year, and I'll be a happy hooper.